What up, you junks? How you doing? Sayonara. Hola, ¿cómo están? Koremanawachi wa, whatever. Rocking my microphone to my mouth because I tried clipping it and the Joan didn't. Rocking DC United hat, as you can see. Can't name one player on the team. I still give a what. My brother worked for them. I love my brother. It's some weird way I like attached to him. Plus, I'm bald, so you know. Anyway, I'm doing a quick video on my 7 top reasons why you should finish every book you start. I've been doing this for years, reading, that is, and writing. And initially, this list is primarily directed at writers, poets, but it applies to you, Joan Did, and plebeians too. I think you'll find that I'm not going to say anything that doesn't apply to you. You can do it too. But ideally, I'm thinking about writers, poets. You want to be a killer, right? Me too. I get it. So this is why I recommend you pick that book up, you open up the first page, and you read 2, 3 sentences, commit to it. Okay. Number one, you will become more discerning. I promise you. You will become highly selective. You will exercise way more discretion, way more caution before you actually commit to reading a book. Always very wise. Okay, you should be that way anyway. Be discerning in your life, not just about books, about everything, people, jobs, whatever. Think about it. Sit down. Let's think about these things. All right. But when it comes to books, you will become way more discerning. Trust me. Number two, you will start reading the greats, period. And that's always a great thing. No pun intended. Was there a pun there? I don't know. My point is, yeah, you might pick up 1 or 2 duds a couple years. But for the most part, you'll start trending in that direction where you're going to be picking up the greats and you're going to realize why they're great and why we still talk about the Brothers Karamazov by Dostoevsky, Don Quixote, In Search of Lost Time, Jane Austen, whatever. These classic books, there's a reason why we still discuss them today because they are wonderfully written, except for Dostoevsky. His prose is super ponderous, and when I read it, I was like, God damn, this kind of show did it. But the ideas are there, right? There's meat on the bone. Anyway, by and large, if it's a great book, the prose is wonderful. The ideas they treat are exceptional. They're challenging. The pacing is there. All of it. It's just a pleasure and a treat to read. So eventually, you will start picking up great books and reading the greats. Period. That's how it works. Number three, this is especially important if you're a writer. You will develop your own tastes, your own style, your own identity, your own voice. You will read books eventually that will obviously resonate with you, and you'll start that voice inside of you is going to come out and be like, hey, I want to chip in. I have to chip in my 2 cents into this conversation. And it's a beautiful thing, kind of like no different than listening to music and almost auditioning different selves to figure out who you are, which is a beautiful thing. When you're young, you can afford to do that, and you should do that. Because when you're older, nothing is sadder than meeting somebody who's in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, and they still don't know who the fuck they are. That Joan didn't. That's so sad. I want to give them a hug, and then a smack across the face, and then another hug. Sandwich that Joan. Number 4, this is critical, especially if you're a writer. You will learn what not to do. Okay, I've picked up a number of books in my life, and I'm reading it, and it's boring, and my attention is flagging, and then just wavering or whatever. But it's showing me basically what not to do. Whether it's pacing, it's overwritten, the prose is too precious, maybe. Rilke, these are charges that stick to Rilke. He's one of my favorite poets, but yeah, there are times when he's a little too precious and the prose is a little too purple. That's fine. You're gonna, you learn what not to do. Basically, like, hey, thanks for showing me, dummy, how not to end up here in this trash bin, because that's not where I want to go. I want to go up there with the killers, big time reamer of heads. That's where I want to be. Me too. Number 5, this is self-evident. All right, it builds discipline. Discipline is critical in all aspects of life. I mean, I feel like this is every fucking YouTuber talks about this, and it's kind of self-evident. Yeah, you need discipline, but when you're reading, especially, it's valuable for writers because I'm referring to my notes here. Okay, it's no different than like finishing a poem, finishing a short story. Lord knows, finishing a book. Or you know how much discipline that takes and how much persistence, a certain kind of like stubbornness and doggedness, right? To see a thing to completion is a wonderful thing. And it's the same with a book. All the more rewarding if that book is a wonderful book and it, speaks to you and you relate to it. And it's just like, man, what a thank you for bringing this into my hands. That's how I felt when I came across the notebooks of Malta Lourdes Briga by Rilke. Ah, I still remember that day. Anyway, number one, two, three, four, five. Number six out the gym. You will strengthen your attention span. Shocker. Nobody has an attention span, especially the younger guys coming up, younger gals too. And it's partly not their fault. They're raised in social media, TikTok videos, YouTube, whatever. And reading a book and committing to it is a great way to build that muscle, that attention span. And especially if it's a good book, it's going to require sustained attention. And this is always good. Plus, that voice, I feel like we're just inundated with so many voices and images and all kinds of things. When you're reading a book, it's very intimate, right? You're reading an author, it's obviously your voice reading the words, but if they're any good, that voice will take over and you will hear it. Um, and it's going to pay you vast dividends. I remember when I finished reading Marcel Proust, try to roll my R there, that Joan didn't, In Search of Lost Time. It took me 3 years to read that. I think it's 7 books, 7 volumes. And I finished New Year's Eve 2006 into 2007. And I'll never forget, I love that book. And as I was finishing it and the pages were starting to thin out towards the end, I almost teared up. I almost broke down. Broke down's a stretch, but I started tearing up. I remember I got very emotional because I had spent the last 3 years of my life in my early 20s with his voice in my head. Okay, that's a special thing. And last but not least, you'll learn. Oh, excuse me. Last but not least, you'll learn what makes a great work of art great. You'll learn how great writers achieve their effects. One of my favorite short stories, one of my favorite books, period, is Dubliners by James Joyce. And there's a story in it called Two Gallants that I've read repeatedly because all the stories are wonderful. But there's a transitional scene that occurs in Two Gallants that, to me, when I read it, it's just like watching a movie. You know how you return to your favorite scene and you rewind and rewind it, hit play, you see the jokes, do it again, you do that over and over because you just love the scene. Same thing. The story is basically, briefly, it's about these two guys, two Irish guys in Dublin at the turn of the last century. One of them is named Corley, the other one's named Lenehan. And they're basically, it's nighttime, they're sauntering around Dublin. And the guy Corley is supposed to meet up with a girl that he met some nights before, that he's trying to smash her and take her money, right? He's trying to clap buns, take her money. He doesn't care about her. He's trying to bang it out. He's trying to rail it out. Like most, 20-year-old guys. Anyway, unfortunately, that's how it goes. And his buddy Corley, or I'm sorry, Lenehan, is just there egging him on, asking him questions, and he's almost there like as an audience member or something, watching this performance. And this guy's like boasting, he's arrogant, he's full of all that talk that you are when you're in your 20s, right? And so this goes on for like 3 or 4 pages. And then Corley departs to meet the girl, and Lenehan remains behind. And this is where James Joyce delivers one of the most damning, condemning sentences. This transition I love. Now that he's alone, right? His buddy's gone. He's by himself. And the sentence is, the next paragraph begins, now that he was alone, Lenehan, now that he was alone, his face looked older. And you get the sense that now that he's on his own, without, the safety in numbers, without the boisterousness of friendship, all that stuff, something is stripped from him. and you see how what you see kind of the real man underneath, right? The suffering, all the suffering that he's been undergoing the entire time. That behind all this laughter and all this bantering and joking, there's a suffering man there. And James Joyce, in that one line, tells you all of that, right? He doesn't explain it to you, but so I read this the first time and I was like, whoa, how do I do this? I would reread it, count the number of paragraphs leading up to that because it was just critical. So great books, great works of art, they're going to do that, and they continually give you stuff. And Dubliners is full of passages like that. Poems certainly are too. So anyway, I think that's about it. These are my 7 reasons why basically if you pick up a book, just read it. Read it. And if it's boring, you'll be fine. It's actually good to be bored sometimes, you know? We all try to escape from boredom. But maybe just sit in that boredom for a bit. Read it. Push through it. You'll be fine. You're not going to die. Okay? Enjoy.